Hello everybody, here's a little bit of an update on our house renovation project. Here's the front of the house. As you can see from the last time, there's not a whole lot that's changed from the front. Unfortunately, I think all the neighbors that we've met so far are pretty eager to see the color change, as are we, but that's going to be one of the things that we end up doing last. One of the things that you'll notice is the door is different. Sort of have an inside door put up there temporarily, just to sort of have some sort of door, some sort of closing on the front, even though you can't really use it. Got that out because the front entryway door, we're actually there's some stained glass in there that's gonna match the front two pieces of stained glass, or they call it leaded glass here. And so hopefully it'll be this really cool looking three-piece stained glass entryway thing. So let me go around to the back because I can't go through this door, and then I'll keep going on with the tour. Okay guys, we're just inside the front door here. We're finding some good stuff and some bad stuff as we're tearing into the house. The front rooms we haven't done too much with, cleaned them up a little bit, got the carpets cleaned, moved some stuff. We've got a table from our friend that one of our friends gave us to use. Some of the bad stuff we're finding is the roof leaks in places, and so it was leaking down, and that's sort of our roof leaking prevention. Right there is that bucket. So we'll take care of that when we get to it. Jen started pulling off a bunch of the wallpaper right here. I think there's about 5 layers of wallpaper. We're down to just 1 in this area, and then we'll eventually pull that off and paint the, they call it jib here, but the plasterboard or drywall. Before we get to this section, let me jump into this room real quick. So we had some soft spots in the floor. Cut out a bunch of the hardwood floor. We were hoping to keep some of this hardwood floor, but it's pretty torn up. So we cut some big holes in the floor to get rid of the nasty stuff, and we put some plywood down. Try to cover that up. You see there's some pieces of insulation there. I spent about 3 days underneath the house putting underfloor insulation in. That was a little bit of a big project. It's about as dirty a work as you can possibly imagine. You can see when we pull back the carpet, there's this amazing linoleum pattern floor here that somehow they decided to cover up at one point. In this room, this was all boxed in. You can see sort of how it was boxed in all the way down to the bottom there. We had a friend pull that off, and sure enough, there's a fireplace back there. Now the fireplace doesn't go through the roof. They cut the chimney off, which is fine by us because we're probably just going to open it up and leave it as a decorative fireplace. So we bought this, they're called the fireplace surrounds. We bought that off of sort of the New Zealand equivalent of Craigslist for about 20 bucks. And so we'll use that in one of the rooms. We're not sure if we're going to use it in this room. We've got our brand new throne right there. That's getting ready to get installed. Other than that, haven't done too much in this room. This is mostly just tool storage right now for a lot of the stuff that we need to do. I figured just have one of the rooms be a work room. Now, you'll see a lot of this area right here is really opened up. Spent about a week or a week and a half doing demo. And so pulling down all the drywall, we've left the studs up. And so this used to be where the bathroom was, and so the bathtub was kind of right where the insulation is. And we pulled the bathtub out. Turns out it was a clawfoot bathtub, and so we sent it up to Christchurch. Actually in the same run with the stained glass window for the front door, in hopes of getting it re-enameled because it needed it really badly. And then we're hoping that clawfoot bathtub, because it's about 100 years old, cast iron, will be a really cool centerpiece for the bathroom, make it look really sort of antique-y and cool. So this area right here, so all the walls where you can see the studs see through them, these are all coming out with the beam project. And so we're hoping to get consent done here in a couple weeks. So hopefully the next update video will see all of these studs gone. We'll have a huge beam up in the ceiling, and this whole area will be much, much more opened up. Yeah, so we can see we're in the kitchen here. The hot water heater is going to get moved into the laundry room, so that won't be there either. And so yeah, basically it'll be nice and open. All of this will be open. And then back here, this used to be kind of the little closet toilet. You can see where the floor is different back there. I pulled that wall down, redid some of this back area here, obviously pulling some stuff down. we've got sort of the bathroom layout taped out. We're not really sure if that's 100% how we want it to go. But once the beams get in, we can start getting things inspected. We've got to get things inspected before we put in insulation and drywall and that sort of stuff. So I reconfigured this back wall pretty cool. And so from sort of this studded area, we found these French doors on Craigslist, the same kind of thing, for about $500, $600. And we figured that that would really open up the house quite a bit into the backyard. And there was a massive window here that was completely non-functional because the header wasn't big enough, and so the roof was sort of sinking down and not allowing the window to open. So we took that window out, and so this huge piece of plywood right here is going to be directly over where that clawfoot bathtub is. And so we'll have a big sort of frosted glass window that'll let tons and tons of light into this bathroom, and it'll be directly over top of the clawfoot bathtub. So that'll be pretty cool. And then, of course, we've got these French doors, which once all of these studs are out, you'll be able to go from the front of the house all the way through the French doors to the back of the yard. So the house will feel really, really long. Coming in the backyard, you can see we've got building materials all over because we're still working on some stuff. There was a bunch of different siding on the house, and this back area was particularly bad. So we bought a bunch of new siding. We had it milled to the specifications that we needed, the old stuff. And yeah, I just put some brand new siding on there. So I haven't gotten it painted or wood filled or anything like that. That was a project just this last week. Yeah, so that's about all we've done so far. You can see here's the front entryway door, sanding it down. We haven't figured if we're going to stain it or if we're just going to paint it. It's a bunch of nail holes, a bunch of damage in it, so that's kind of the next project we're working on. Yeah, so that's sort of the update video for the renovation project. Nora's room is exactly the same. We haven't done anything in there. Upcoming projects definitely are, we've got to cut some holes in the floor so that they can support the beam with concrete foundations. So we've got to pour concrete foundations, put in some giant pilings, and then support the beam. Finishing up this back bathroom. Hopefully that'll be completely done or really, really close by the time our next video comes out. That's going to be a pretty big project. The front entryway door is another thing, and then also just finishing up some of the tidying up in the backyard and with the insulation underground and stuff like that. So awesome. Here's the backyard. Jen pulled out a bunch of the fences and pilings and stuff, so the backyard is a lot more open as well. Really makes a huge difference. So much more open, much more livable house at this moment. Well, at least sort of the layout is, but hopefully in the next month, because we'll be moving in the next month, we'll actually have a livable house. Great. Awesome.